Welcome back to the Fut-Afrique show. If you're just joining us, rather, where have you been? We've been talking about some funny moments from the year 2024 in African football. Brian is still trolling me, but we're going to handle this off air. Brian, you just had to bring on that up that Afcon final, really.
You know what I also remember?
Yes.
Is a man that was fired by Nigeria coming back to Benin to defeat Nigeria.
Oh, wow.
That's something I also remember also for 2024.
You remember Finidi George getting fired?
Oh, yeah.
Fired, yes. And he had that little spat with Victor Osimhen. Yeah, what an interesting year. But for you, South African football, what has been your biggest highlight for the national team, as far as the national team is concerned?
Listen, I mean,
your favorite one.
COSAFA's got to be celebrating at the moment. You know, COSAFA region, when you talk about FIFA reports, they'll tell you is one of the busiest region when it comes to competition that happens within the region. We always have so many things happening within the region itself. So if you talk about it, you saw the results of that.
Yes.
7 nations have qualified for the Afcon that is coming up in Morocco. A record for COSAFA.
Yes.
You know, there are countries that are returning for the first time. We've been there for a while. Remember, Botswana has been there since 2012. They are returning to the Afcon
and I
this
think
coming year.
South Africa is likely to go the furthest out of all those nations.
Listen, expectation is that South Africa should go the furthest, given the fact that they got a bronze medal the last time around. I mean, you all remember what happened in that semi-final match against Nigeria.
Yes.
Imagine if Mudawi scored that goal in a dying minute.
Yes.
You would have fainted and said on the day that happened, you know? I mean, Angola did that, but also, I mean, for me, the biggest story has got to be Angola's story.
Yes.
The way Angola went about their business and eliminating Ghana amongst other nations, you know, for them to qualify for the tournament. You remember what happened in Ghana after they won that game? Oof. You know, it was something else.
Turmoil.
You know? Mabululu also getting the goal of the year, fans voting for him for the CAF Awards.
For me, he needed an award for his goal celebrations, really. That's what I remember about Mabululu, the choreography, really.
Zambia causing an upset, winning their group when they were Cote d'Ivoire, the reigning champions, you know.
Ooh, and
both qualified.
We haven't spoken about Morocco at the Paris Olympics. They're more than made up for what they did at the Nations Cup.
You know, when you talk about Morocco, when they played against Spain in one of the matches, we're building up to the final, I think they would have won that game. Had they been more clinical, had they really went about their business the way they're supposed to have gone about their business on the day, they would have won that game. They lost against Spain, found themselves playing against their neighbors in Egypt, and Egypt didn't get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 6 against Morocco.
They spelled Egypt with the scoreline.
My guy. They just went one after the other. It was just something that was the Battle of the North will settle here in Paris.
Oh my
and finish everything out.
And I think the next time those two nations play, it's going to be fireworks because of that result.
Definitely going to be one of those. I mean, I'm looking forward to going forward. What's going to happen if they meet in tournaments? I mean, that's a good story to talk about. Also, the good news was seeing Morocco being given the hosting rights of the World Cup in 2030 alongside Portugal and Spain.
But
that's something else.
Morocco's going to be hosting the some under-17 competitions, under-20, you know, the Nations Cup. I mean, this is good for their economy. This is brilliant. But I'm looking at it and thinking, like, shouldn't other countries on the continent be given a chance to improve their tourism and all of that?
They say if wishes were what?
Well, horses.
What would happen?
Everybody will ride.
Exactly. So Morocco, don't just talk the game. They go out and put their money in, so we want us to be here. And they're doing exactly that. So we got to be, other countries must really envy and want to do what Morocco is doing. Which is very important, you know, because if you look at it, not only are they going to, they're also going to be hosting the Girls World Cup that's coming up pretty soon.
Yes.
You know, so you're talking about a country that is invested immensely in their football. You can see from the star players they do have in the country how well they do overall. And for me, that's a story that you always need to celebrate. But you can never wrap up talking about the celebrations without talking about Ademola Lookman.
Oh, man.
Congratulations for winning.
Lookman.
Every time he scored a goal, it was... Lookman, now I saw him, the next thing he was no longer there.
Oh, my goodness.
What a year he had. I mean, his performance for Atlanta when they went on to win the Europa League was something else for me. How he went when Osimhen was not really doing well for Nigeria, the Afcon, he rose up and showed his character.
What about our Ahly, the club? You know, they won like the club of the year
Al-Ahly story can sit here and talk about them the whole day. First of all, they won. First of all, they walk away with the Inter Club of the Year, first of all.
They also had their losses, don't forget.
And then they also walked away and won their 12th record extending. That is a CAF Champions League title. They went on to play in the Super Cup. They lost the Super Cup, but then they went to play in the FIFA, the International Cup, Intercontinental Cup. They lost and were unable to play in the final against Real Madrid. But having said that, they are still sitting now, if you count the numbers, from then of 22 at the end of the previous edition of the CAF Champions League, they're still unbeaten. And now add some more numbers to this year. 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, 26. As of before they played the game on the 22nd. So another brilliant year, another brilliant team to talk about.
I don't know if you have friends that are our Ahly fans. I have a particular friend, he's a fan, and they can be so cocky. The friend of mine said that the CAF awards for the Club of the Year should just be reserved. They should just cancel it because it's always going to be won by our Ahly. I don't know if you agree with that.
They're the team of the century, not by fluke, but because they deserve to be there.
Well, let's hope we see something different at the next CAF Awards. Maybe a Mamelodi Sundowns could step up to the plate. Maybe. Anyway, we'll be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll be honoring the queens of African football. Stay tuned.